Hey, welcome back to Not So Gentlemen. I'm
It's
Rick.
it's been a while. It's been a while. I'm Sean.
Been
And
a
and
while.
you and we just decided to kick off this episode because we're in the middle of a little battle,
With a
and we
little
just thought
1990s horror.
we 1990s. Good Lord, no, you're wrong there too.
Blair Witch wasn't 99?
It was, but I'm just saying. Hold on. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking. You're
Mm-hmm.
saying. You're saying. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I
Yeah, why don't
said
you tell the people what I'm saying? Go ahead.
he says that Blair Witch, the way they approached it, the way they were a box office smash, would never be done again. And I said Paranormal Activity did the same thing less than probably a decade later. Here we go. Box office. Blair Witch brought in $248.6 million. Paranormal Activity, 193.4. But how many Paranormal Activity offshoots are there? Then there's 2, 3, 4, 5 ghost. Like there's so many and there's been what, 3? There's Blair Witch. Then there's Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2, which is actually a really great movie. It's fun. Look at him. He's over here. He's moving
I'm
cameras
listening.
around and
I'm
all this. He's
listening. Go
listening.
ahead.
Okay.
Nope. I'm just, yeah, go ahead.
Your hand near
Ooh,
that microphone is
sorry.
killing me. It's so loud. You know, and then you had the remake. I'm just saying you are correct. And Blair Witch was the first one to tackle stuff like this. The way they brought it with, found footage. But I'm just saying paranormal, I love them both. I really do. They're two of my favorites when it comes to the horror genre that, are unique in their own way. But, I like the Blair Witch. I really enjoyed Blair Witch 2. But I think Paranormal Activity said, Blair Witch, if this is the line, we're going to step it just slightly up. I think they pulled it off. Maybe they didn't make as much money, obviously. I looked it up and was proven wrong there. But I think they tackled it a little bit differently, and I like the Paranormal Activity style. Definitely less herky-jerky jump cuts.
So, if you'd let me finish my point before you just
we
assume
started
what I'm going to say.
We started the show. And I was in the middle of that, so I just jumped right into it.
Mm-hmm.
I hope everybody's doing
so
great.
Anyway,
I hope you had great holidays.
What my point was about Blair Witch was it was still in the time. It did a unique thing.
Yeah.
Like it was able to capture people's attention in a way where half of the people that I knew thought it was real.
Yep.
Like it honestly pushed it to where people were like, "Oh, did you hear about this found footage thing?" And blah 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 blah. And this is actually, they've been showing around. It's only been going around VHS. They actually put it in the movie, and not unintelligent people. I mean, there were a few people who were like, "Well, it's weird that it's in the movie theater." I'm like, "Yeah, it's kind of weird."
It's a straight up. It's definitely one of the best marketing ploys to ever be just boom. Tossed out there and
really was. It was still right on the verge of VHS. Yeah, it was the VHS. Still is a thing being passed around, like Kevin Smith. And the way Clerks went around. With VHS tapes and that kind of thing. Yeah. You're still right in the area of VHS is happening, but a lot of people have DVD players and. It just had a thing about it, and it grew and grew and grew. And the pre part of this movie coming out, the talk about it was everywhere.
Yeah. It had an internet.
And everybody
website,
had to see this movie. Yeah.
Internet website.
It was genius. That movie, the way it was done. Don't get me wrong; it's not the greatest movie ever made.
But I do enjoy.
I'm not saying that, but the marketing.
Oh, absolutely.
Was probably the best marketing of any movie that's ever came out. And then plus it had the low budget suddenly being the moneymaker, and it was phenomenal. I mean, everybody, it was the thing for us to go do. Like how many of us went and seen that together?
I seen that film after a day at Kings Island in Cincinnati with Shane, Sean Bourne, and Dan. We spent all day at Kings Island, and then that night we went to see Blair Witch.
Yeah, I think it was me, Matt, Eddie,
the normal
crowd. Yeah, and went and seen it. And
awesome.
it was fun. I mean, the ending of that movie really was like, whoa, hey, there was.
Yeah, if you don't get the chills when you see the guy in the basement facing the wall, and instantly you're like, wait a second, facing the wall. Oh my goodness. And it's so good. Yeah, it's so well done.
And being, and even, being from a rural area, we know places like that. We know there's a house off the road that nobody's been to in like 30 years, that if you go in there, it probably looks a lot like that house does. It probably has a dirt basement that looks like that. Yeah. Probably got jars of crap that haven't been opened in 40 years.
That old White House in the middle of the field to the left of Miller Creek Road when you cross the wooden bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that thing would definitely be, you're like, I am not walking in there. No way. You'll either fall through the floor or a ghost will eat you.
But the two of us would do it. Yeah, you wouldn't do it. You're not going to do it. Oh, yeah, I won't do it.
Oh, yeah, and then everybody jumps in. Oh, man, I freaking love those movies.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I also, even though I don't love horror movies, my guilty pleasure is Paranormal Activity. I love those movies.
I liked it.
I mean, I haven't seen them all, but like the first 2 or 3 is great for just, I'm ready. It's time. I need to do it.
That's awesome. All right, man. I want to just kick off the show this way so we can just get up and over it and be done with it and move on to actual part of the show. But the last episode, you gave us your hot take on Wonder Woman 84, and I have since watched the atrocious film that DC brought us. It is
not voluntarily.
Yeah, it's bad, man. I mean, let me go. If you hadn't watched it, don't. You're doing great in life. You're doing better. Take things a day at a time. Don't watch Wonder Woman 84. But let's see. So we start off with a scene that means absolutely nothing. 11, 12 minutes of the movie wasted on us. Don't cheat. Okay. And how did that play back out in the film? Don't know. Still wondering on that one. Then we go for Richard Donner, Patty Jenkins' take on Richard Donner for about 20 minutes. And then we meet. I was looking forward to it. Why can't I think of her name? I just brain farted, from Bridesmaids and Saturday Night Live and
Kristen Wiig.
Yeah, Kristen Wiig, who is basically just like Catwoman in Tim Burton film. I'm disheveled and I wear glasses. Wait a second, watch this. If I pull my shirt down and stand up, bam, every person in the room is magically on my. Horrible.
Want that milkshake?
Absolutely atrocious. The whole thing about the stone is dumb. And then I'm pretty sure there's some kind of inception rape that goes on in the film where somebody else's body is raped by Wonder Woman while being possessed by Steve Trevor. And so I would love for somebody that is a fan of this film to send an email, a tweet, a DM, hit me up in the DMs and justify inception rape from Wonder Woman. I mean, did that guy remember that? Does he have a family? Did he have a job? Did he go to his job all week?
My first huge problem with the film right there, if we're just granting wishes left and right, there's magic walls popping up everywhere. There's invisible planes and everything. Why didn't he just, I'm back? I don't know. I just found myself here. Why is he possessed? He's literally a ghost possessing somebody. Yes. That is Steve Rogers. I mean, yes. Steve Trevor.
Yeah.
Not Rogers. Man, that'd be a great movie there. Right. He might have saved this dang thing.
Who are you? Yeah.
But why is Ghost Steve Trevor possessing somebody? Weird.
No.
Why did they go to some Mayan dude who's in the movie for 5 seconds and blames the entire loss of people on this stone that was from Egypt?
And let me tell you, as somebody who spent an entire summer touring the Smithsonian, I had no idea those jets were maintained, fueled, and ready for flight at all times.
All back there.
You know, I who knew all those planes back there were all fueled and ready, so you could just hop in them and go. And listen, I know it sounds like a push, but if you flew a 1940 something German fighter pilot with a fighter plane that is very rudimentary compared to today's standards, that's the plane we see Steve fly in Wonder Woman. He can just hop right into a British tornado in the middle of 1984 because, planes are planes.
They work. I mean, thrust and wings and sticks. Yeah. I mean, it's all the same.
He flipped around for a few fuel switches, and then it kicked on. Now I'm ready to fly. Oh, man. We just stole a plane from the Smithsonian. Check this. Invisible plane. Clap my hands together. Thought about it real hard.
No, okay.
One time my dad did it. I seen my dad do it one time. I was like, shit, I got it. Invisible plane.
So they flew a tornado from Washington, D.C. to Egypt, back to Washington, D.C. in 24 hours.
It would have
did not refuel.
Yeah, I know. I'd love to seen the 141 trying to do the refuel on that thing.
Hey, well, you got some of that magic stuff going, that invisible stuff going for the plane. Could you refuel like Doctor Strange refilling Thor's glass?
I get it. I'm a full believer. I even give you a hard time sometimes because you have a line for your suspension of disbelief. And I usually go way past that. I get enthralled into a movie and roll in it. And, I have no problem. Oh, you'll be like, dude, this is so this. And I'm like, I can look over that. I can't look over a single thing in this movie. It is seriously messed up in so many ways. And we haven't even got to the part where the big fight, Wonder Woman has to fight wind. And it pushes her against the wall. But somehow I had no idea that the lasso had basically an AI in it. And it can be like, hey, I'm the magic carpet. Oh, let me just slither. I don't know. Maybe I haven't read enough comics. Maybe her rope was sentient and had the ability to do stuff on its own, but it's really bad. Like when I was telling Michelle about it, and when I finished, she's like, I feel sad for Pedro Pascal. He had to do that movie. I was like, yeah, I feel bad for Pedro Pascal too, because he actually is really good. And the thing is all these people are really good. Kristen Wiig. Y'all know how
right? Yeah, that's what I was going to stop and bring up. Yeah,
y'all know how I do
like about the movie. The thing I do like about the movie is the actors are fine. Like Chris Pine is great in the movie, and Kristen Wiig is absolutely fine. She's great at what she does. Pedro Pascal is fine. Gal Gadot is fine. They're all fine doing what was printed and put in front of them. I just don't know that it should have been handed to them. Is the question.
Yeah, it's so bad. And get this. Holy crap. We've been watching Wonder Woman since Wonder Woman and BVS and Justice League. And those last two, she could fly and she held out on us this whole time.
That's called a plot hole, Sean.
Oh, that's it. Right before this, Watch Mojo had a top 10 DC plot holes. And it was really entertaining, really good. So if anybody wants to jump on the Watch Mojo, they had a really good top 10 DC plot holes. A lot of them concerning Wonder Woman, because I had no idea that right now, Rick, I'm touching you. Do you feel it? The photons of light that are picking up my transmission back to you are touching your face.
It's like a transporter. Yes, I know.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, Wonder Woman was not good. My review was not good. Your review was not good. We both agree.
Right. I feel better.
Wonder Woman, even though it came out on Christmas Day, we didn't really pay for it because I already have HBO Max and you streamed it same as I did.
Yeah.
I would not have paid for this movie. If I'd have known this beforehand, I would have been pissed.
Yeah, but okay. Here's what I would really like. Go ahead. And we all know who I'm talking to. You know who I'm talking to.
Will you quit touching me?
If I could get an email justifying half of the stuff that we just discussed, it would be fun to see somebody else's take on. I think I'd rather watch Green Lantern. Because at least then I could have Ryan Reynolds because he's funny.
But
anyway, moving on.
So yeah, Wonder Woman. I can't recommend. And part of the problem is there was such a high bar with the first movie. I will defend. The first movie is almost MCU level.
Yes.
And
great.
I would put it up against Captain America: First Avenger as
as
an origin story. And rewatchability. This second movie, they should have just thrown it in trash, honestly.
Trash is too good.
You're right. Moving on. I did want to talk about. I finished Transformers: War for Cybertron, Earthrise, which is on Netflix. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and sing praises of it, but it's a serviceable show. It's kind of interesting. If you like, it's basically a commercial, just like the G1 show was, a commercial for the toys that are out now, but they've got really, really great toys out now for this. If you're interested in all or have any nostalgia for Transformers, watch this show and pick up some of the stuff that's coming out. Especially, I just got my hands on, and if you can see it right here, right there, the Hot Rod from the '86 Studio Series. They are now releasing. They've had the Studio Series for a while now. It's the re-release. Hold on, I got you.
For those of you not watching on YouTube, which we appreciate all of our YouTube watchers, they have been off the charts and incredible. Dude, Hot Rod's my favorite. That's amazing. Love it. That is way cool.
They have had a Studio Series for a long time. Their first big ambitious thing they did with it was they put together the Combiner Devastator set that just finished this last year. It's been 3 or 4 years they've had this line, and they've basically done almost every character out of the live action Michael Bay and Bumblebee movies, respectively. And then rumblings last year of characters from the '86 movie showing up started to happen, and then we got pictures, and then now we've actually got figures coming out this month. Just a couple of days ago, everybody was able to pick up the entire wave of the first line, the Studio Series. Grimlock, who is huge. I mean, they're all kind of sized right for the toys in the movie.
Yeah.
The first line is like Grimlock, Cup, Blur,
how much
Jazz. Well, the deluxes like Jazz, Blur, Cup are 20. Grimlock is going to be Grimlock's leader class. He's huge. Yeah. He's absolutely huge.
How much? I want one.
He's going to be, I believe that size is 49.
Ooh.
The Hot Rod and the Scourge are Voyager size, and they are like 29. But it's really great. I mean, it's awesome. On-screen accuracy, and really excited about it. Other things that I'm really excited about, though, that are probably more popular. Let's talk about some great Star Wars news that happened. Now, Sean, did you read this after I mentioned it a while ago?
I have not. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay.
No.
That's all right, because it's just really quick. There was a couple of tweets sent out. Peyton Reed put a devotional out to Mark Hamill about how he had a certain picture of Luke and his land speeder on his wall when he was a kid, and he thanked him so much for being a part of that last episode, making it happen, being a part of bringing his childhood back and Mark Hamill wrote a really nice response. Especially now, I'm going to have to find this because the wording we're going to talk about here.
We're getting in some.
Yeah,
are we getting into some TMZ here?
We are. We are.
Nice.
But anyway, I mean, the gist of it was he kind of threw a little shade at The Last Jedi. Now, yeah, nothing you can prove.
Yeah,
but
of course.
It was very nice. Dear Mr. Peyton Reed, I am so grateful to have been given the unexpected opportunity to revisit my character when he was a symbol of hope and optimism. That is a direct quote. Your assured direction and kindness was a crucial element in the experience and means more to me than I can say. # thank you.
Nice.
When he was a symbol of optimism and hope. I really like it.
Nice. As opposed to cynical and bitterness.
Oh yeah. That episode, even though, okay, the CGI, somebody went and deep faked it like that day and it was like 100% better. But I mean, watching it, super exciting. You couldn't beat that. That's exactly what I'm here for. Yeah. If Mandalorian's and the other shows are going to do this, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, they're getting my money. I'm keeping a subscription. I'm buying what they put out.
Yes,
that's just the way it's going to be. Yep. And don't get me wrong. That's not to slap anybody in the face. I'm not saying that at all. But this is the kind of direction and care that needs to be put into this franchise. I don't know who or what some of the things they were thinking with part of the stuff that we don't like, but if they course correct and do a little better and get more input of what makes fans happy. I mean, typically fans of stuff are what pump money into things.
Yeah.
I mean, just like, and don't get me wrong, there are examples of it working the other way. I mean, like I said, I'm always fine with the live action Transformers movie because they made tons of money and pumped more money into what I love and ended up, giving me stuff like this. And I'm not gonna talk bad about them. They're just not for me, and that's fine. There's also kids versions of stuff that's not for me in Star Wars. They have different lines for everybody. And we need to be, everything does not need to be catered to me.
That's true.
I wish more people had that attitude.
I know. I'm bad for that, but yeah, you are correct. Oh, what else do you have on here? What is Kongzilla? What? Kongzilla?
So Godzilla versus King of the Monsters already came out. Godzilla versus King Kong was one of the things announced with the HBO, moving straight to HBO Max and theaters.
You're going to get to watch it straight up.
It's moving up to March instead of its original July, I think was the date.
Yeah.
And that's some of that stuff is in dispute. Like Dune, Denis Villeneuve is in a arbitration process, I believe, to keep it going from streaming.
Right. Is that one of those that had the, the thing, hey, we have to be a theatrical release? Because
kind of like Nolan, in that capacity, people should see that. People should see this in a theater, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, we're in the middle of a pandemic, right? So I don't know. I mean, and I understand, but I mean, they're not keeping it out of theater. It's just gonna premiere on a streaming service and in the theater at the same time. I don't have an issue with that. I mean, I do have the streaming service that they're talking about, but I would pay a $14 fee and watch that at home with my family. Pause, go to the bathroom, get more popcorn if I want. I mean, it's worth it.
Look at this. Back in the day, we used to have free admission tickets to theaters. This is from a place called Regal. I don't know how to say it anymore.
Was that our Brightburn showing? Is that when we got that?
Yeah. No. Yeah. When we got this, we went to when we seen Infinity War back to back. We came out of Infinity War the first time and they were handing these out to us and they're like, here you go. And we're like, what is this for? And they're like, sorry, the movie started late. And we're like, oh yeah, the movie started late. Remember, there was nothing wrong with our film of Infinity War whatsoever, and they hooked us up with those, and then all we did was literally walk right out one door and back in the other one to go watch Infinity War again. That's when we picked those up. Yeah. Oh, so King Kong, Godzilla. I hadn't seen King of the Monsters.
I have not either. I need to. I was thinking that when I was typing in. I was like, oh gosh, I haven't seen the Millie Bobby Brown.
And here's the deal. Wait, maybe I have. Yeah, it's the one with Millie Bobby Brown.
Yep,
and I have seen it.
Okay,
it's okay. But
well, I mean,
I felt the same way about this. I get this new take on King Kong, Godzilla, Mothra, all these ones that we grew up on. There's a total shift. When we watched them, the black and white ones, the cheesy ones, we watched them for the monsters, for Godzilla destroying stuff, for Godzilla versus Mothra.
Man in suit. Yes.
And these have a story. So part of me is sitting there like, oh, Godzilla, I want to see, 2018's version, all new graphics, all these cool things. And I want to see my monsters that I grew up on fight on screen. And you do get to see that, but it doesn't play out as much as, you would like to in your head, because there is a story to these. There is a nice thing going on. So,
right. And it's hard to find that line, because I mean, if you go too hard one way, you don't have any monsters in your monster movie. You go too hard the other way, and basically you're watching Power Rangers, and they have not found the line yet. I mean, these
maybe
movies,
this could do it. This would be
it's possible.
Yeah.
But they don't give the same feeling, and I don't know that you can recapture that feeling of probably Saturday morning or after school on channel 16. They're premiering for the first time, all Destroy All Monsters, and you got Golderon and King Ghidorah, and you got Mecha Godzilla fighting Gamora. That's just something that was just so cool when you were like 12 and 13 and watching that stuff. I don't know. I've tried to sit down and watch. There has been a Godzilla movie I've enjoyed as an adult. It was
1998,
I think Godzilla
Matthew
2000.
Broderick.
No, I will punch you in the throat, son.
See,
I've got one of those stupid lizard mugs somewhere. Did you know that the next Godzilla movie that the Japanese made, they put that monster in there, and Godzilla completely just destroyed him?
That is awesome. That is so
it was
funny.
like lizard monster, and Godzilla's like, oh.
Destroyed.
Goodbye. I love it.
Goodbye.
Love it. Like he pile drived him and then like fire breathed him.
Oh, I need to go find that. Make a GIF out of it.
It's out there.
That's awesome.
Somebody's done the work. Beige Phage. Kevin Feige teases Nova.
Ooh. Sam Alexander or Richards? Which one?
Richard Rider.
Richard Rider, yeah, Richard Rider or Sam Alexander. Which one do you think?
They've always mentioned Richard Rider whenever it's been talked about before.
Okay,
and I don't have a problem. I've got a few comics of the new guy, and I liked him. That story was just fine. But I'd really like to see Richard Rider on the screen.
Yeah.
One of the things about Richard Rider that was so funny, and I've got a bunch of Nova comics now. I made a deal with a guy out of Mountain View, and he got me quite a few of that run for a good price. The funny thing about Richard Rider, he's been around since the 70s, but then when the New Warriors came in the 90s, they threw him in there like he was a teenager. I was like, what? Like, this is the same guy, right? Richard Rider? Well, I guess so. Yeah. Okay. Yep. But yeah, I'd love to see Richard Rider, him get all the power of the Nova core and have the helmet that talks and that kind of thing.
Do you think we'll get a flashback scene of Thanos and the Black Order just raining down fire? And
that'd be great.
Yeah. How awesome would that be? see it all. I mean, not see it destroyed, but to see the, you know, what the story they could give us and see it from his point of view.
Yeah. Now I don't want to get too hyped up. I mean, we're just chomping at the bit for anything for phase 4. I mean, like WandaVision, which we're about to talk to, you know, there's speculation running there's like 800 YouTube videos about what's going on in WandaVision. I was like, whoa, hey, you know, it's just a show. I don't know if you can pull that much out of there. And I watched a couple of the people I like to watch, and they had a couple of things they pulled out that I didn't notice the first time. So
nice.
I really liked it. But yeah, Nova, I'd be super excited to see.
Oh, absolutely. So before we jump into WandaVision, I did watch a Netflix documentary series.
Okay.
It's Night Stalker. It follows the story of Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, the walk-in killer. And let me tell you, it is downright terrifying. You know, there's after watching that, you learn a lot of things. You know, there's a lot of things that we like that have been good and bad, and sometimes this group of people is good, and then sometimes this group of people is bad. But there is a consistency that I have found out, that even in the 80s, at the height of LA being so awesome, the LAPD still sucked. You know, it is just, it's infuriating to watch this documentary and realize how many people, you know, 43 people this man has taken off this planet, and numerous more that he's done horrendous things to that actually survived his attacks. And there were still political roadblocks that were put in place because one guy wanted to front being the guy that brought him in, or the other things. And when you go back and they lay it all out, and you see this Netflix documentary and it lays out the timeline, you realize that this guy could have been off the streets way sooner, extremely amounts sooner, if people had just communicated and put their egos to the side for the moment. And then another like thing you'll see, oh my goodness, there's a political official, Dianne Feinstein, that is nicely represented in the documentary, who almost destroys the entire thing. Like, almost just totally craps the bed all over the entire case that these police officers were doing. It is an extremely well done, put together documentary. If you're a true crime fan, it's 4 episodes, probably about an hour, 40 minutes to an hour long each. And it's very well done and very good, interesting. So informative. I love the stories of the police officers and the detectives involved. You really like it. For those that don't know, it was all put together by this extremely young detective that had really no place in speaking up. And he was one of the first to go, all these random crimes are all committed by the same person. And there's a lot of cops that were like, no way. And finally, this guy got his opportunity to tell somebody of importance his story. And the guy was like, this makes sense. Oh my goodness. We're dealing with one of the most prolific killers, ever. And that's when the chase was on. And it is just a great documentary. You definitely check out Night Stalker on Netflix.
Wow. That sounds great. On a similar vein, me and my wife have been on a little documentary kick. I'm not going to recommend the one. I do recommend it. There was a Dolly Parton one we watched a couple of weeks ago. That's not what I'm going to go for here, but it is worth watching. I am not a country music fan. I'm just going to say that. I mean, in general, I'm not. But
right.
We watched Garth Brooks' "The Road I'm On."
Oh,
and it was actually really good and really enjoyable. And if you don't know his story, I mean, he's a performer, more than just a country singer. Like he loved Kiss growing up and that kind of thing. And if you've ever seen, and I have seen him in concert, and there's a lot of theatrics involved in it. And my wife, loves country music, so I completely love going and enjoying it with her. And seeing that documentary, it's at 2 episodes. I think they're both like an hour and 15 minutes. But it was really good.
That's cool.
If you're talking about documentaries, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to save WandaVision till the end here. So
yeah. All right. That's awesome. I love documentaries. We eat them up like candy around here. It's nothing short for us to knock out 2 or 3 in a weekend. So yeah, love it. Oh, now it's time. All right. WandaVision. Do we want to say our how you doing and see you later?
Well, I mean, I think everybody has seen it. I mean, you can.
Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, if you want to cut out now, yeah, we're going to talk about the show without, spoilers. Yeah. I mean, not that there's any spoilers really, because we don't know anything yet.
Yeah.
And that's been a point of controversy. So, yeah, let's get into it. WandaVision dropped 2 episodes, same night, Friday night. Yep. And watched them back to back with my son.
Same here.
And we loved them. I mean, absolutely loved them. I had to explain to him. He's like, so what is the style of this? And I was like, well, this after the first episode, like, well, there was a show called Dick Van Dyke, and it was very 50s, and all these kind of tropes are going on here, and that's what they're parodying.
Yep.
I can't talk.
Parodying.
So once I swam him through that part, he was good, but he enjoyed all the comedy, enjoyed all the plot, everything, caught a couple of things that maybe I didn't see the first time around.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a great episode. Really, there was a couple of things that stood out to me were Wanda, when she got serious, when she directed Vision to help somebody. I mean, that's kind of telling of what was going on there. I don't know what the toaster reference, other than Vision, is mechanical, but
yeah. Did you notice that? I believe when she said Vision help him, she said it with her Sokovian accent. I really think she.
I didn't notice that part, but I know that she. If you're going to describe it, she broke character. Like she was in the character of the 50s. Wife and all that. Right. The moment her face changes, she breaks character. Vision, help him.
Yeah.
And that's something telling about what's going on. There's another in the second episode. There's an exact same tone to the No that we get, which is very telling of what's going on there. There's something. This looks, and the whole problem is a lot of people aren't understanding what's happening with this show. The show is presented as these different eras of different TV shows.
Yep.
And people are having a disjointed response to this. They don't know what's going on.
Well, from what I understand, like you said, episode 1, the 50s with Dick Van Dyke, basically being the layout. And then episode 2 is the 60s with Bewitched, I believe. That house looked very similar to the Bewitched house. And that
animated opening was great.
Loved it.
And we also got a glimpse, a reference of, and this hasn't even happened because Simon Williams was cut out of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, even though we did have a Simon Williams. Simon Williams exists in the MCU. He's played by Nathan Fillion.
Yep.
He actually did promo shots for the movie posters that were in the theater of the town, which are in there. You can, I think you could slow-mo through it and find a couple.
Mm-hmm.
But he plays Tony Stark in the movie about Tony Stark in the MCU.
Yes.
But anyway, Simon Williams, if you do not know, is Wonder Man. He's an actor. He's a superhero and an actor, loves Hollywood. Yes. He had a brother. His first appearance was in Avengers number 9, I think, and he died. But then he came back in, I've got the issue. It's drawn by Jack Kirby. I think it's 151 or 2, something like that, where they bring him back out of stasis because they put him up. They actually used his brain. When he was in stasis, they used his brain patterns to give Vision a personality. So in the comics, him and Vision have this kind of brotherly relationship. So much, in fact, that there's a storyline where he fell in love with Wanda because they're so similar.
Oh, wow.
And he mentioned that point to Wanda a couple times and was rebuffed very, very hard a few times. It's an ongoing thread. Well, anyway, he also had a brother named Eric Williams, who became the supervillain, the Grim Reaper. In that animated opening, the Grim Reaper's helmet is between the floor when he passes through. Yeah, a long way to get around there is they reference the Grim Reaper in the
there's so many little things. We have the Stark helicopter in the bushes that is in color in a total black and white setting. Little things out of place. I wanted to ask you, I know I asked you earlier, but I wanted to do it in the show about the beekeeper guy that comes out of the sewers.
So like we were discussing, part of that is an obvious reference to sword because he had a sword symbol on the back of his back of the suit, but also the way they framed him and with the bees buzzing around and with the no face when he turns around, it seems like with the evidence that we've already seen, the devil has been referenced a couple of times by Agnes, who people are suspecting is Agatha Harkness. She mentions the devil's in the details. Well, she didn't say that line, but she adds to that saying he's, he could be in a bunch of other places too. And then she hands Wanda a rabbit named Senor Scratchy.
Right.
Which, I mean, is very obviously Mr. Scratch, which is a name for the devil. And the very obvious motif of him when he turns around and there's flies, bees buzzing around, is the Lord of the Flies,
Right.
And I'm very happy I have 2 copies of Silver Surfer #3, the first appearance of Mephisto, put it that way. So awesome. I'm thinking that Mephisto is going to show up.
That's cool. Well, it's a good thing you have your first appearances, because I'm glad I have the first appearance of Monica Rambeau,
who we did get to see in episode 2.
We did get to see, although she believes her name is something different.
Gwendolyn, I think.
Gwendolyn. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
we haven't.
And that's the thing. We knew, because we talk about this. We're in on it. We read the articles on it. We try to stay up on it for the podcast and stuff like that. Do you believe that there has been enough out there for the average person to go sit down, turn on their Disney Plus and go, oh, new MCU stuff. Hey, honey, let's watch this. And when they hit it, they're totally out of the loop. They have no idea what's going on. They don't.
Well,
that you got to put together the fact that this is Wanda and Vision's story, and Wanda is very upset that Vision is gone, and she's gone into some kind of grieving process and perhaps created like a pocket dimension or
well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with all of that. Wanda has not to this point been shown with quote unquote reality altering powers. Now her powers could be construed as telekinesis up to this point. She hasn't really made things pop in and out of reality. She's moved a bunch of things. She's moved huge things. She's nearly killed Thanos by herself. But she did do, like, she warped people's minds and perspectives and that kind of thing. So she's been kind of a scattershot of powers without any real definition. And now suddenly everybody who watched the show is thrown into, oh, she can alter reality without ever being told that. So they really, if they don't know that, they don't know what the heck is going on.
Right.
I mean, if you've read House of M, or you've read her MC or her comic book profile that spells out her powers, what she can do, her chaos magic and all that, then, I mean, you got it. But I mean, just Joe Blow off the street going, I love this MCU stuff. Iron Man's my favorite movie and Endgame was amazing. Let me watch this and see what's going on. Why is this the Dick Van Dyke Show?
Yeah.
I mean, I see that.
I get it. And I do. And at the same time, I just hope that there's enough people that are being like, all right, these first 2 episodes, I agree with like you. Maybe this should have all been released at once for binge worthiness so that people can just continue and binge it for 6 hours, 7 hours. And then when they come out on the other end, they're like, oh, that started off really weird. That was an odd beginning, man. But when that ended up, it was pretty good. And I hope that's what they say. But at the same time, you know, I can totally see where you dump these 2 episodes, and like you said, you know, the average person picks it up. All right, I don't know what's going on.
What really should have happened is they should have in the Marvel Legends series that they had, where they announced the first episode was going to be Wanda and second episode was Vision.
Yeah.
Where they should have just spelled out her power set right then and there, you know, or they had, you know, something on the front end like an animated opening or something that they could have worked. They got smart people working.
Or even worked.
They could have spelled out how, like somebody explaining. Footage. Yeah, I mean, well, part of the show could have been somebody going, what does she do? You know, just some Greg Park sitting there going, now I get Ant-Man, but what's the Scarlet Witch do? Like, how does she work? And somebody look for the third time, you know, something like that. A smart writer could have made that funny and work. Right. And then began the show in earnest. And they could have cut out the 8 minutes of credits for these shows. Jesus, even with The Mandalorian, which I've never said anything about it, but I'm going to complain about it here. I'm like, oh man, we still got 8 minutes. 8 minutes of credits.
Yeah. I was, and what's really bad is I sat through them because I told Michelle, I was like, I was like, it's Marvel. I was like, it's Marvel. I was like, let's just not even mess with it. And, you know, and then Netflix or Disney just rolled into the next episode. And I was like, okay, maybe that's because, you know, there's nothing after the first one. But then when the second one ended, I sat there and did the same thing. I sat there and I was like, clicked up. All right, about 6-7 minutes left. Okay, let's watch.
And don't get me wrong, I know the importance of credits. I know the importance of credits, but movies don't have 8-minute credits, do they?
I don't know. They probably do, and we just don't pay attention because we're sitting there waiting for Captain America to come on and give us a motivational speech. But, you know, yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did. I will admit the way they handled it, the way they introduced it all, maybe could have been done better, you know, in the way that bringing the average person in, you know, Michelle was she was like, so what do you think's going on here? And I explained to her what I thought was going on here. And she's like, oh,
right. Wanda, and Sarah did the same thing.
She said, Wanda can do that. I was like, Wanda's can handle a lot of stuff, you know? And, so maybe that's something Marvel could have done. Who knows? This next week, when we get episode 3, we're going to be like, okay, well, foot and mouth syndrome, you know.
Yeah, I'm ready to see Darcy. Yeah. I'm ready to see Greg Park. I don't remember his character's name. I'm just
ready to see more. I want more.
Maybe I hope his first scene he's showing somebody card tricks.
That'll be awesome.
Nailed it. Yes.
But all right, my friend, do you have anything else you want to add to?
Other than I loved WandaVision, and I'm super excited for the next episode. I can't wait to see where this is going. Yeah.
Same here. All right. If you want to find us on social media, I'm on Twitter at Maynard98, Instagram at Maynard98. Like I said, if somebody wants to send us an email, because you actually enjoyed Wonder Woman 84 and you think everything I said was wrong, that's perfectly fine. I promise. If I get an email that's done like that, I will do my best to not forget and put it on the air. I will do my best.
No, I would love to see. I would love to see an email from somebody who absolutely loved Wonder Woman and it explains all their points to it. I'd love to read that.
Yeah, I would.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with anybody loving something I don't love.
Yeah, I'm fine with
that. But boy, that movie could have been better. And just about everybody I know agrees with that.
Yeah, I got a lot of friends that were pro DC and all this, and even they were so anyway.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people who were apologetic about a lot of things like DC, and they were like, well, that just wasn't good. I mean, they're just stated. I mean, they weren't making any apologies about it. They're just like, that just wasn't good.
All right, where can they find you, Ricky?
You can find me at Rick Westbrook on Twitter. You can search Not So Southern Gentleman on Facebook. You can hit me up at Not So Southern I cannot talk. Not So Southern Gentleman on Instagram, and you can always hit our email, notsosoutherngentleman@gmail.com.
And if you're listening, try hopping over to our YouTube channel and looking at our ugly faces for the better part of an hour.
Oh my God. Have you even checked the comments? Are there comments?
Yeah, there's comments. Yeah.
Oh my God, stuff. I'm an idiot. I'm new to YouTube. Sorry.
It's good. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Yeah. Hop over, give us a sub over there. If you're listening, thanks for listening as always. And just remember, Inception rape is bad. Wonder Woman. Inception rape is bad. Y'all have a good one.
See ya.